I'm also gonna just start the tape as a backup. No. Wrong one. Okay, the tape is working too as a backup. Okay, perfect. Alrighty. Good evening, everyone. This is the Watertown Water and Sewer Authority, Watertown, Connecticut, special meeting, Wednesday, July 15, 2026 at 7 o'clock. We're in the Watertown Town Hall, Planning and Zoning Conference Room. I'm gonna call this meeting to order. I'll ask for roll call.
Keith Franson,
Marissa Mancini Cavallo.
Adam Simonson,
Ray Green,
Joe Mancini.
Jim Sugden. Okay. Item 3 is new business. We have one item on the agenda this evening for new business. It's discussion and possible action regarding proposed amendments to the water and sewer quarterly quantity rates for customers of the Connecticut Public Water System CT 1530021, including the proposed fiscal year 2027 water and sewer rates, the proposed fiscal year 2028 to 2031 long-range financial plan, the annual review process, adjustments to the applicable special customer rate classifications, and the scheduling of a public hearing pursuant to Connecticut General Statutes 7-239 and 7-255. Just to start off, I guess I'll say that, as you all know, we've been working with the consultant on the rate study, and we've gone through a couple of meetings with that already. So they've provided us information. You guys should have gotten that in past packages prior to this meeting. And we had the Zoom call with them, I believe the last time that we met. I'll call it the Zoom, it was on the conference call. So at this time, I'll open it up for members of the authority to discuss and possibly entertain a motion to set rates, water and sewer rates going forward.
I just would say that we've been through this from top to bottom. We've discussed this with New Gen more than once. And the bottom line is we have bills to pay, and they've pointed out what they are. And it's reasonable that we move to adopt those rates to pay the bills. And I think the figures that they've given us represent what the costs are, at least the first year, and then after that, we got some wiggle room, frankly, if there's something different to adjust the rates. So I think that what's before us is sound, and I think we should move on it.
I agree, 100%.
Honestly, I don't think we have a choice. And it just seems it's always like this, you know.
Adam, I know you weren't, I don't believe you were here at the last
Yeah.
meeting when we had the conference with New Gen there, and they went over basically, I mean, you should have gotten the package.
Yeah, so I went through all the materials.
Okay.
From a long-term perspective, no, I think it's absolutely correct. There's not an option, right? I mean, we're running deficits today. So I mean,
Yes.
the idea that we wouldn't do a rate increase is irresponsible, right? We have to do a rate increase, right? I mean, that's, I guess the question I'm not clear about is, are we wanting to put forward a series of rate increases, or an approved 5 years worth of rate increases, or are we looking to say, hey, we want to do one rate increase and then essentially signal to say we think we're going to have successive years of rate increases?
So they came back with, I had asked them for some information on long-term,
Yep,
on 5 years, so they did come back with some numbers for 5-year
Yeah.
increments.
Yeah.
And, we could work in, some language to say that we get the year one in, and then as years go on, whether we get a large increase from the city of Waterbury, which, you know, we don't know, we've made some projections, or they've
yeah,
made some projections for us on what that could look like. So, so that we could come back, you know, we could adopt a 5-year plan, and then if we needed to adjust it, we could adjust it. That would be,
Right.
have to go back to public
Yeah.
hearing, but we'd have something to base it on for five years,
gotcha, right, Yeah.
That was pretty much recommended in
right.
that was the rec, yeah.
Yeah,
New
yeah, because the tricky thing is, because looking at the long-term plan, because there are a couple things that I thought were interesting. One, even with, you know, few years of pretty hefty rate increases, it does not project big cash balances at all. It is still,
Still late,
it's still,
Oh, yeah.
it's still really lean.
yeah.
Right? I mean, that's the thing, right? That it is still pretty lean.
We cut our operating costs.
Yeah.
Down significantly from what we were gonna project regarding
Right.
programs.
Right, that's what I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's lean, right, I mean, the money's going to Waterbury, one form or another, it's the debt service for the
Yeah.
judgment, and it's wholesale water and sewer costs. You know,
And
going
and the
to
operating expenses for us are basically bare minimums to keep our system up and running, keep, you know, there's a little bit in there to keep it maintained, because you're obviously gonna have
Yeah.
maintenance.
So, and I think what I think is important is the first 3 years of this that have the rate increases, those first 3 years are pretty important. I mean, so I almost would recommend, you almost have to pass those first 3 rate increases as one.
Yeah,
You know, so I think, I think as I'm talking out loud here, I think it is a good idea to say,
yeah, I'd like to
say,
say,
put the 5 years in front. It's hard to predict the future, it's like, we might be back here in 2 years
Yeah.
and say it isn't enough, unfortunately.
yeah,
but-
that's what I was thinking, I'd like to see
But-
the 5-year, and then say if we find out that there's, you know, rate increases that are, because unfortunately, we don't know, without having any type of contract, we don't know what we're gonna get.
Right,
So, so put the 5-year out there, and then, we could
Right.
review it after that
Yeah.
and see if we need to
Right.
adjust it.
yeah,
I guess up or down,
Right.
I would love to see it go down, but unfortunately, I think
at least the 5 year lets people know,
that's what I'm thinking, it gives everybody an idea,
this is where it's.
this is where we're at.
Are there any talks about contracts, about trying to obtain a contract? I know it's been no, but.
No, not
We
that I'm
haven't
aware of.
have we opened up the lines of communications at all?
I don't believe there's been any. I mean, this whole thing goes back to, we wanted a contract.
No, yeah.
And even when we had the contract in 2013, they would only go 5 years, because I think they must have figured that this is where they were gonna try to go. They didn't wanna get,
That was what they're famous for, was 5-year contracts.
Yeah.
That's what-
I mean, you've been around longer than
Well, I
I.
was on when we did that,
Yeah.
and, we had nothing for many years before that, and we finally got it. And we hired a consultant to do a study, what we should be, we went up on the rates a little every year, but. Unfortunately, the other thing, I think we have to start looking into building up the reserve a little more too.
Yeah, well, I think the consultants gave us a good place to.
Yeah, I mean, this
Start.
keeps the reserves at like 90 days of cash on hand, but you can't go less than that, I mean.
Yeah,
And we could probably use that 1.6 give back from the bonding company and hold that as somewhat of a reserve also.
I know, I think that's used in this.
I don't,
No.
no,
Okay.
not in this scenario, no,
Okay.
that they gave us. They gave us 2 scenarios. They gave us the 90-day and then the level
Okay.
funded, so
Hmm.
that wasn't included in that. So. But, yeah, I know,
And there's a final reckoning with the fire district also that we haven't concluded.
Yeah, so these rates would be for the water system that's a majority of our customers, so it's not the fire district and it's not the Westgate, but this is the general.
Well, Westgate will be paying our water costs and it's the.
Yeah, that's a whole separate water system.
Yeah.
They have a separate identification number
Right.
for their water system. So, Jerry, is there anything you'd like to add? I realize Mark's not here this evening. I know you're here with us. Is there?
Yeah, I know it's still. We're trying to set up with town council and the fire district to discuss with the lawyers to go to the next level for them to do additional research. Because we gave them a cap not to go any higher. Was one of them, but I do think it's important that they do invest some additional time. Before we go to law and before we go to Waterbury with it. I did also, I'm glad you brought up that this system is just our main system, which has like about 95% of our customers. And it's not Westgate. Westgate was just charging the same exact rate that we get charged by the fire district for that. If there was anything with that, I would like to tie the Westgate system to the rate increases from the fire district. And I think it is less than 5% of our customers. We're not charging any additional operational or capital cost, just because the increase was so large when we did it about 9 to 12 months ago. It was basically double the rate.
Yeah, they're paying like $9.
Correct.
Awesome.
Where they were paying less than 5 before that. So I just don't know, if we also want to include that when we have the public hearing is tying their rate to the fire district's rate if they go up.
Yeah, I think we ought to just bite off one piece of it at a time right now.
Yeah,
we just recently did the rates with the Westgate customers, and again, all these rates are going to need to be reviewed periodically.
You're saying Westgate's a different PWS ID, so as long as clear, which is what was in the agenda.
Yes.
I think it's is it 90? It's 90 homes, right? Isn't it?
Correct.
90?
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah.
It's only.
So they have a whole different Connecticut ID for their water system, so they're a separate water system from these rates here that the consultant was looking at.
And, I am concerned too with being so lean that, I'm big into infrastructure and fixing things. That, we can't, because otherwise we would look like Waterbury with like their fire hydrants not working. And, so far, we have a decent infrastructure with our pump stations, both water and sewer. But it's to go after projects such as, I&I. But, the first thing, the first target we're trying to take out is the lead and copper rule, which we're fortunate to get the initial $750,000 from the state. And we're also going to apply for additional grants through the state drinking water revolving fund, the DSRF, for that. In fact, we're meeting with public health in 2 weeks in order to how do we, because some of it is forgivable, depending on our quality rate that the state tracks for disadvantaged. And we're in like 4 different zones that come down from the state. And looking at tying 2 of those zones together, where I think they'll forgive like 75% of the loan for that. And that it's the lead and copper, it's a 10-year plan, so it's gonna take that long. To go through and replace the services to the houses. That have it. But like I said, being lean, it just gets me concerned. And I'm glad Adam brought that up. To keep a capital program going, lead and copper and I.
Well, hopefully with the rates and the flexibility that we're suggesting in the areas after, say, the first couple of years. We'll have an opportunity to address that. And if we have to increase our part of the cost of the total bill, we can put that before the people.
So, if we decide to move ahead, which I would recommend, the consultants are available. I'm looking ahead because we're gonna need to schedule a public hearing. And I believe they were available the week of the 10th and the week of the, Jerry's got it right here.
This is
Yeah.
August.
Yeah, August, so the 10th or the 25th to the 28th. I know I might be being a little selfish, but the 20, I'm thinking like a Wednesday, we'll keep it on a Wednesday, that's generally when our meetings are. I was looking at the 26th, I don't know.
Yeah, that's okay. The week of the 10th, I will not be here.
Yeah, I got a conflict that week,
Okay.
so that's
I
why.
mean, the 26th is better, right? School's back, people are done. with
It's gonna be right,
vacations.
yeah, I
If we're gonna
don't know.
hold public hearings.
So that's the other thing we've got to, if we do the 26th, and I was looking at my schedule, because that's, I've got, like I said, and I'm just being me. The 10th to the 14th, this doesn't really work for me, but the 26th would work. We've just got to check with the school.
I unlocked the door, I just wanna make sure that someone's gonna lock it in,
Jerry, you want to charge a lock in the
or
door?
you want me to lock it now?
Let me see if we can lock it, it's still pegging open.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure, cause I don't see it.
So we
So-
expect them on the first day of school.
And then,
It's
so
on
it would
Wednesday.
be, yeah, so
Let's just do it.
I had,
No, it's Thursday.
yeah, I had asked Mark about that, and he said that he would coordinate with the school to figure out whether we could do the high school or we could do Swift. So if everybody's, if we think we want to do this, my recommendation, I'm just putting this out here, is we're gonna need to set a date if we move ahead, which I think we should, so,
At the time.
about 7 o'clock is,
Yeah.
you know, so.
Okay, the other thing relative to the where. I think that's something that we have to leave to the coordination by the town manager, because we don't know what's available at this particular point in time. It would probably be between Swift School and Watertown High, but we don't really know.
Yeah, I would say it would be either one of those. We've had them at the high school before, so.
Acoustically, I think Swift is better than the high school.
Yeah, I think if I remember right, it's the high school's a tough,
Yeah.
yeah, but I think it's gonna be whatever is
it was
available. So, so leaving it with that, I mean. My recommendation, and then what I'm,
I get one note too, Jerry, just for assuming this goes forward, like notice wise and stuff, we need to make sure. Cause in this agenda packet, we just have the variable rates in here, but the quarterly fixed charges would be part of
yeah, so we had, the last, we had the fixed.
Yeah, I'm just saying in the agenda packet here, it
Yeah.
had that,
Yeah,
to
so
make sure.
so the rates here are in the memo from July 6th.
Yeah.
So those
Yeah.
are basically what we would be working
Right.
off of.
Yeah, I just wanna make sure we notice this, so that
Okay,
we
yeah.
notice it correctly
First day of school is the 25th,
The 25th.
on a Tuesday.
and then Tuesday, yeah, I just.
Go back, or
No.
let's see, it's,
School JK through 12.
Yes, we are.
New,
Throwing me for a loop.
new teacher in service is the
I went to
21st.
school was always after Labor Day, so
Would you consider the 19th?
they can't, we wanna have the consultants there, so the consultants gave me some dates. So it's either 10 to 14, which. Like I said, me personally, that doesn't work. I suppose it'd be work, but the 25th to the 28th is
Yeah,
what, so I only said 26 because that's on
and
Wednesday.
I'm just thinking, trying to avoid the criticism of people saying you held a public hearing while I'm on vacation kind of thing. That's all.
So
Yes.
everybody's back to school, so everybody should be generally back. There's always gonna be somebody who's on vacation.
Right, I figured,
Yeah.
yeah.
And one other thing and that is that on the rates, I think it would be, to our benefit, in the sake of transparency, to break down the charges into the three categories that we pay. What it costs to operate this authority, what water is charging, and what the bond cost is. All totaling out to what they have here, under
We
the
can-
breakdown.
Yeah, we could ask the consultant to cover that when they're
Sure.
giving their
I
presentation.
think so, because you gotta be careful about noticing that you're
Yeah, so I think
legally
so
showing.
we're gonna notice,
Yeah.
you're gonna notice that we're doing. These are the rate increases, and then I will make sure that Mark and Jerry
Yeah.
or myself, whatever when we talk to the consultants, that they understand that we need to. Have
So,
that.
so we won't show that language in the motion, but they'll present it.
They'll present it, yes,
Okay,
so. I don't know if you got something,
no, I'm okay with that.
good, okay.
All right, yeah, all right, if there's no other discussion, I would move that the Water and Sewer Authority schedule a public hearing for the 26th of August, 2026 at 7 p.m. at a place to be determined by coordination by the town manager. Amendments to the sewer and water quarterly, quantity rate for the customers of Connecticut
Is
Public.
that your phone, Joe?
Yeah,
Okay.
water system, Connecticut 1530021, and direct town staff to publish the required public hearing notice pursuant to Connecticut General Statutes 7-239 and 7-255. And secondly, a motion, well, you want to move on that motion first?
Yeah, so I got the motion to schedule a public hearing, so we'll do that.
I moved it, so somebody has to second that.
So we've got a motion on the floor, seconded by Keith Franzen. Basically, it's a motion to schedule a public hearing. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. Okay, the motion carries
All
unanimously.
right, secondly, a motion establishing the scope of the public hearing. I move the public hearing include consideration of one, the following plan of water and sewer rate scheduled for fiscal years 2027 to 2031. The fiscal year water rate is per 1,000 gallons and the sewer rate is per 1,000 gallons. The current rate for water is $4.59. Current rate for sewer is $6.09. The 2027 projected rate would be $5.76, and the sewer would be $7.98. The projected water rate for 2028 would be $7.23. Sewer would be $10.45. The projected rate for 2029 would be $9.07, and the sewer would be $13.69. The projected rate for 2030 for the water rate would be $9.35, and the sewer would be $14.10. And the projected rate for 2031 would be $9.63, and for the sewer, it would be $14.52. And again, this is per 1,000 gallons of each of the services. The rate scheduled for the fiscal years 2028 to 2029, 39 are, what did I say, 39?
28,
Yes,
31.
31 are intended to take effect in the applicable fiscal year unless modified by subsequent action of the authority following its annual financial and operating review. 2, an annual review process through which the authority will evaluate updated financial operating usage, debt service, revenue reserve, and other relevant information, and determine whether any adjustments to the rates is warranted. 3, propose adjustments to applicable special customer rates, classifications, and 4, any related amendments to the authority's water and sewer rate structure presented as part of the rate study. That's been moved.
I move, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion that's been moved and seconded. Open up the floor for any discussion. All right, yeah, I think that's pretty clear, Joe, thank you. So if there's no further discussion, I'll entertain the vote. All those in favor say aye. Opposed say nay. Okay, motion carries unanimously.
And the third motion is I move to adjourn the meeting.
That's all the business that we have on the agenda for this evening, so.
Second.
We have a motion made and seconded for adjournment. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Just forward.
Move us forward.